All right, I was on Twitter today, and one of the things that popped up was, is Jeff Okudah fast enough to play the cornerback position? Now, a lot of Lions fans are still scorned and hurt from Tease Tabor, who ran around a 4.7, and think he improved that at his pro day to a 4.67, are skeptical about any corner that doesn't have blazing 4.3 speed. But Okudah ran a 4.48. Richard Sherman ran a 4.5. I mean, it's been a lot of corners. Tre'Davious Wright ran a 4.47. So a lot of people concerned, is Jeff Okudah fast enough to be a corner in the league? Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. I definitely think so. On top of that, he got the height, he got the length, he got the technique. That's most important. Speed is an aspect. We have a lot of corners that's really, really fast, but they ain't good corners. You're talking about technique, being able to win at the line of scrimmage with your hands, being able to jump routes, being able to read and have recognition, be able to have ball skills. All that plays into, having a good corner, because all the time you're not going to just be having, corners run 9 routes. I mean, receivers running 9s and flies and post routes and double moves and stuff of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Technique and being able to flip your hips and being able to, get your hands on these dudes at the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of different ways where you could throw the timing off of a receiver where your long speed don't even come into, play. When you consistently you need your long speed is when you don't win at the line of scrimmage, when you don't prepare, when you can't jam, when you miss, or when you let these dudes get a free release and you ain't on your job. If your technique is good, speed, you still need a certain amount of speed, but then it doesn't become the absolute all be. And I think with Okudah, his ability to read and jump routes and recognition, speed won't be an issue with him. And I think 4.48 is plenty enough. It ain't like he 5'5" or 5'9". I think this kid is like 6'1" or 6'2", long. And the Lions got 2 long athletic corners in him and Armani Arakwe on the outside. So if they learn to jam and they learn to play soft and they learn to read and react, the sky should be a limit. Even if a new coach come in and implement a zone scheme, they both should be good enough to dominate in zone or man. Just given they both is physically long, they tall. I think they both around 6'2". That should be the Lions pair for a long time to come if they develop them the right way and they're able to stay healthy. So I'm not worried about speed because they got speed in the back half. Will Harris is a 4.4 guy. Not a lot of safeties really running the 4.4s or less no more. Tracy Walker, I think, is a 4.4, 4.3 guy, 4.5 guy. So they got speed in the backfield. Coleman is, he pretty speedy as well too. So the athleticism is off the charts. That is what this defense is. That's the most athletic part of the team. Agnew, another 4.3 guy. That's the most athletic part. The problem with the Lions is when you get to the front 7, they hella slow. When you get to offense, they hella slow. Other than Swift and Hall, and Galladay to a certain extent, they don't have a lot of explosiveness. So I'm not concerned about Jeff Okudah's speed. I'm not concerned. Only thing I'm concerned about Jeff Okudah is that the Lions don't mess him up by not giving him a pass rush, by not giving him enough diversity in the play calling. That's what I'm concerned about. If he don't get a pass rush, then, any corner going to get cooked out there on any given Sunday, Monday, or, Thursday afternoon or Thursday night. It can happen. You got to have a push. You can't just have a strong back end and have a weak front end. If I had to pick, I'd rather have a strong back front end and a weak back end. And the Eagles won the Super Bowl just like that. But you need both. You need both. So the Lions got to get to it. They got to generate pressure. And I think generating pressure don't just start with personnel. I like Okora. I like Hand. I like Flowers this year. I like Collins. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Brown. Some people like him. Some people think Nick Williams going to come in and do his thing. But scheme is going to really get the most out of Jeff Okudah and get the most out of that back end. Coleman won't suffer as much. If you're able to stunt, you're able to blitz, you send 4. Sometimes you got to send 5. You disguise like you coming like you blitzing, but you bail out and make the quarterback make an errant quick throw. All those things going to play, into the hands. But with Okudah's speed, I'm not worried about his speed. Now, I was worried about Tease Tabor, and I would voice my concern with anybody that listened, that a 4.7 is just not going to cut in this league. And his ball skills and his technique wasn't good enough to overcome running a 4.7. And I said it again and again and again and again. And people say, oh, he get by. And it never happened. he should have been a safety. And then again, I'm not sure he was physical enough, and he tackled good enough, and he was athletic enough to be a safety. Most of those safeties that slow are box safety, and they able to bring the wood. And I'm not sure he was able to bring the wood like that in the box. So I'm not concerned about Okudah's speed. You know, he gonna have his rookie roles. What concerns me is what everything around him. Will the scheme help him out? Will they generate enough pass rush? If they don't, he can go. People can be calling him a bust real quick, and it ain't gonna be his fault. But if he able to succeed what Darius Slay succeeded at last year, in the same way or a little bit less, then I think you're probably gonna have a Hall of Fame player that's gonna be right there with Calvin and Barry Sanders, as the best. You know, Detroit Lion never played. Robert Porcher, Bobby Lane. You know, you just keep going on and on and on, man. So we'll see. Like I said, before him, Darius Slay was the next highest pick. Before him, it was Terry Fair. So the Lions haven't historically took picks this high. But he checks the box off, and athleticism is nothing I'm worried about. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter's the fastest way to get in touch with me. Then Facebook and IG, I'm rarely on there. Want to make a donation, Cash App, PayPal, description. Best way to donate is share the video. Let me know what you guys think. Is Jeff Okudah athleticism, speed, something that you worried about? I'm not, but we gone.